Welcome to We Use Our Powers for Good. We're Dory and Meg, two sisters, 10 years apart, using our powers for good. We talk about grief, life, love, and everything in between, with humor, honesty, and the hope that what we're learning might help you too. This is what it looks like to practice compassion, hold boundaries, and stay connected, even when life gets messy. We're so glad you're here. Okay, we're at the sixth episode in our series of six. There's too many numbers to have to remember. If you're just joining us now and you haven't seen the last five, we had a family crisis in the last week, and all of our siblings we were already scheduled to be together, of course, this past weekend, and we had a lovely weekend of learning and growing and supporting each other. And so, if you haven't listened to the other five, please listen to them because this final episode in the series is really pulling it all together. We've talked about letting people be where they're at, don't make it about you. And we talked about putting your oxygen mask on first before you interact with, these people in this core stressor that I want to be thoughtful that I have myself managed and supported before I dive in there. So I'm not diving in there with all my crap and then just creating a shit storm with just myself. And so that's what we want to talk about in this episode is what does that mean to put your oxygen mask on?
Should I jump in?
Yes, would love if you.
So, and it's interesting when people think of a rock bottom moment to where, let's say you've come out of a bottom moment and you're great again. And people look at you,
Right.
right. And they think, oh, you're so strong, you're so resilient, you're blah, blah, blah. And I think about really it's the learning. And coming from a place of curiosity of like, okay, what are the things that make me whole? Because I feel like a rock bottom moment is you've lost your wholeness, or perhaps you never found your wholeness in the first place. But for me, it's what are the things that bring me back to wholeness?
Mm-hmm.
I have a list of 20 things. So for me to ever have maybe it's 1,000 things. I think it's like the one, once I have one, there's another five. Back to
Sure, but if you could be super basic, because I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
here are the five things. I meditate at least 5 minutes a day. And I always have to be outside. I became a triathlete so that I would be outside in nature and active and movement and getting my heart rate up. Those are my things. Eating super well, getting in bed by 9:30. I might not sleep, And then when I don't sleep, because sometimes it happens, I have a bunch of mantras that I say to myself when I don't sleep. One of them, which is, I have only slept 2 hours tonight, and so I will be very gentle on myself
Mm.
today. I won't be making large decisions
Mm.
today. And then and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start to get dysregulated and things start to go, it always comes back to, I haven't done all five of these things.
Mm.
And it doesn't feel like a push. It doesn't feel like a list of things to do, flossing your teeth, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an easy, cozy thing that brings me back to wholeness.
Well, and I want to comment a little bit about what you said because a lot of what happens when any stress hits in your life and if you're willing to learn from it is that it changes you. So it's never about getting back to who I used to be, it's about better understanding who I am now. And some of what happens is, and I want to contextualize this better because I see this a ton in the clinic, is that um, people are always trying to get back to who they were. You're different and changed, and what happens when you've learned something is that your awareness grows, and so you're aware of more things, which actually is how we were designed. Our bodies were designed to be responsive. Our body was not designed to just like tolerate stuff and have no effect and just keep driving forward, right? So some of the things that you and I will talk about is just a lifetime of growing from challenge and things that come up. And then as you become more and more aware, we just have more and more opportunities to meet our needs. And the goal of all of this for me and what I'm, constantly teaching clients is the goal is that as often as you can be, you're as present as you can be. So my goal isn't like I'm Supergirl or whatever. My goal is when I'm with you that I'm fully present and I've gotten the things taken care of that I need to be taken care of so I can be with you. When I'm with my kids, that's all I'm doing. When I'm with a client, that's all I'm doing, right? Um, but then separately back to what we're talking about, putting your oxygen mask, what does that look like? for me, the most basic things are when I can feel myself, like I can feel myself start to shift. Something has happened and I'm, dysregulated or I'm feeling ill-eased. Or like in this case, when we had this big stress come and I'm like, before I communicated with everyone, I'm like, all right, what are you feeling? I cried a bunch. What do you need? I named the things. Anything you need to do to ground yourself before you start communicating with people, and I put that stuff in place. But for me, it's each time I start to shift, I'm asking myself just really basic things that look like, okay, what are you feeling? What do you need? Naming the need things, and then, scheduling to put those things out, which typically they're simple, like I need some water. I'm going to lay here for 5 minutes. I know I talk about this all the time. Use timers. I lay down for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 6 minutes, not an hour. I mean, if I needed an hour, sure.
Yeah.
I usually just need a little reset. But when you are super stressed or in the middle of crisis, stopping a ton to check in with yourself can revolutionize your experience. So the point isn't that you make the experience go away, it's just that you continue to meet your needs so you have a better opportunity to be regulated versus say here all day versus like, oh, okay, all I needed was a deep breath. I'm just going to go sit in the bathroom and take a deep breath, put some cold water on my face, right?
Right. And the
Um,
timer is
huge.
huge. And I've been using it because also when this family crisis is upon us, my mind is thinking about that always and trying to work and trying to do, or any space in between. That's where my brain is.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about how are they? What can I do? That's in my
Yep.
go-to love language in a crisis is how can I help?
Yeah.
My husband's is what can I buy?
We'll do an episode on that.
But I've been really, the timer has
Yeah.
been huge because
Huge.
with my clients, when we have a bit of time to talk, I've been stepping away from them, like when they're processing color, and I'm setting a timer, even though I don't need to,
Right.
so that I'm fully focused on them and,
Right.
and staying in the moment for this moment. Because I don't need to compromise
No.
um,
No.
to be efficient.
Yeah.
And when I'm spiraling and I'm wandering, I keep moving, I wander, the timer helps for that too, to just take a beat and remind me of the time.
Yeah.
Currently,
Yeah.
it's been 20 minutes of you scrolling on your phone.
Right.
Let's go outside.
Right.
Take a minute.
And then with that, I'm also saying that you will find, like there's clinical research, you will find you only need minutes, right? So I'm not saying at the end of the day or at a bigger break point in your day you couldn't use more. I'm talking about throughout the day as you're in crisis and there's just a lot of moving parts, that you taking 2 or 3 minutes every hour will do you a world of good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, like for me with my oxygen mask, and I'm saying I want to share this one because it's completely different than the things I'm doing for myself. One of the ways that I put my oxygen mask on is contextualizing what's happening for my kids, right? So contextualizing is just giving more details so that the other people understand their role in this thing. So when we had this family crisis and I sat down with my own kids and gave more details and more data, some of that is then it changes my experience because then I'm not changing what I'm saying, but then when my bigger family, my extended family all showed up, I then reminded my kids, and this is part of contextualizing, we all are having a different experience, right? This is not my core family where this stress happens. So, hey, kids and partner, my kids, please just be aware of what we're talking about might be different, and that's okay. And we're letting them have their experience. But some of how we can do that with younger people or people with different tools or with different tools is that we add more context, which allows everyone to feel okay with where they're at. Which again is let people be where they are and don't try and fix and change. It's like, well, some of how we do that is giving more information.
Right.
Right, right. So, anything else that we want to share?
Um, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of shame. Their judgment comes up. Um, if you can, let it wash over you and away.
Yeah, name it. Like we've
Yeah.
been saying, name the emotions when they come up, and for those of you that journal, write them down and kind of write it out of you. But all of those feelings and emotions are normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also normal when things are really hard and when we're the ones in this core stress. you could feel shame 1,000 times a day.
Mhm.
And that's normal and okay. And that each time it comes up, you just, that isn't, you could say something as simple as that's not the experience I'm having. Like, I'm just gonna let you wash, or
Mhm.
that isn't true for me right
Right.
now, right? Or
Right.
whatever words really resonate with you. But greeting yourself with grace throughout the day, and then using these breaks or these stopping points helps to quiet some of that, because if you can get ahead of yourself and keep, we use the word regulated, if you can support yourself enough so that you kind of you've got your feet underneath you, have your breath a little bit, it'll keep those thoughts and those spirals less. I'm not saying they'll go away, but it's just about trying to get a hold of yourself so that you can be present for yourself and others.
And Mr. Rogers' Little Book of Wisdom is
Yes.
a wonderful resource.
Yeah, I love that you had picked that up.
I know, so lovely. Each page, it's like carefully curated, easy words.
Yeah, so that's a great example, is if you have a book like that around, or go get that book,
It's this big.
that you have those things near you and you're just reading a page, or you're writing your own affirmations that really work for you, that resonate for what's happening, right? And I want to address that quickly, because people, affirmations are great, but an affirmation that's bigger, about your bigger self, that maybe isn't going to work right now.
Yeah.
You want really tight, small things, like just breathe one day at a time, one moment at a time.
And I like to, when I need those moments, we need those resources, I'll take a screenshot and send it as my phone screensaver. So every
that's a-
time I tap my
that's a
phone,
great
it's
idea.
like,
Right. And then sharing that with the people, your named group,
right.
sharing that with people so they continue to reflect that back to you, is a nice way that people can support you.
Totally.
Yeah. So thank you for being here with us. This was a lot. And I know we say this often. This isn't about, oh, we just totally nailed this and it was perfect. It was sad and it was hard. And it will continue to be. And we also feel grateful and blessed to be able to use our tools and have relationships with our family that we can be authentic and share and be vulnerable. And we also still have blind spots and places that we struggle. And so there's all of the things. Our intention was just to share some of our learnings so that you might,
So we can all grow together.
yeah, you might offer yourself the opportunity to navigate a struggle differently the next time something comes up, because it will.
It's going to.
Yeah. So thanks for being here with us, and until next time.
Stay well.
This is what healing can look like, together with tools, laughter, and love. If this conversation meant something to you, share it with someone who could use it. And if you want more of what real connection sounds like, hit subscribe and come along. Thanks for joining us on We Use Our Powers for Good.